series of lackluster sequels and spin-offs left Mortal Kombat as the classic 2D fighting franchise that could never quite pull off the jump to 3D. The latest installment attempts to fix this, bringing back classic characters, settings, and storylines, and dropping them into a fun 3D action-adventure game in Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. Shaolin Monks takes place in the time frame between the series' most celebrated games, Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. Fans of these classic titles will be pleased with the game's feel of returning to the fold. The story follows Kung Lao and Liu Kang, who are part of a large battle at Shang Tsung's palace. When the palace collapses, they are trapped in the depths of Goro's lair. As it crumbles around them, they rush to get outside and escape the island.
This is the way off the island!
But Shang Tsung sends an army of enemies and monsters to stop them, of course. Along the way, they are guided by a talkative Raiden.
There's not a warrior here that would have survived if you had not warned them of the traps in Goro's lair.
And they run into plenty of other characters from the Mortal Kombat universe. Because the storyline from that era was a strong backdrop for a fighting game, people new to the series will not feel lost in Shaolin Monks.
Thank you, Master Raiden.
The story has all you need in a Mortal Kombat game: your goal, your enemies, and your excuse for unleashing lots of blood-splattering action. Like other fighting games, the controls revolve around pressing buttons as fast as you can while trying to rack up combo points. The characters each have special moves and attacks for you to memorize, and while some combos may take a little while to figure out, the basic fighting is smooth and easy to pick up. These moves work well in 3D thanks to Shaolin Monk's multi-directional combat, a great feature that lets you seamlessly fight multiple enemies attacking from different directions. In the single player, you can play as either Kung Lao or Liu Kang. In co-op mode, they can play together. Both these fighters have classic Mortal Kombat abilities to unlock. These moves become available when you defeat enemies and gain experience points. Unlocking new moves helps you in combat, but mostly keeps the game interesting by constantly giving you new things to master. Fatalities are back, and aside from providing the over-the-top death sequences you'd expect, they're also very helpful in building up experience points. You have a map to help you find your way through each level, and you need to check it because you'll be doing a lot of backtracking. There's a good amount of hidden areas to uncover, and there's also opportunities to interact with objects and environments. The graphics for Shaolin Monks are above average. The backgrounds are detailed, and the character animations move fairly fluid as you run through the 3D areas. The cutscenes occasionally run a bit long and could use some better voice acting.
Do you trust me?
But look great nonetheless. You can zoom the camera in and out, or let it follow you. It does a good job of giving you the best view, but multiplayer creates the inevitable problem of it running out of room and locking when both players fight enemies on opposite sides of the screen. Multiplayer is how the game is best played though, and Shaolin Monks appears to have been designed with co-op in mind. This is most evident in the cutscenes, which feature both playable characters whether you're in co-op mode or flying solo. The only major design flaw is the lack of ease for pick-up and play multiplayer. The Versus mode plays great, but is limited to the 2 playable characters plus a handful of unlockable ones. If they had thrown in another half dozen classic Mortal Kombat characters, it would have worked better, and added even more hours of gameplay. Instead, the Versus mode feels tacked on, and more like a minigame. It's a shame, since head-to-head fighting is what made the franchise great to begin with. Also, the co-op mode can only be started from the beginning. You can't jump back and forth from single to multiplayer. For a franchise that grew and thrived at arcades, where friends could jump in at the drop of a quarter, it would have been nice if they had made this installment more multiplayer friendly. That being said, Midway did throw in a huge bonus by including a full playable version of Mortal Kombat 2. For old fans of the series, this is the perfect gift, and newcomers will appreciate the ability to experience the game most of Shaolin Monks' levels and enemies are based on. Shaolin Monks is a game that Mortal Kombat followers will love, but it can be enjoyed by any fighter fan. It's a little on the short side, but despite its flaws, Midway has delivered a 3D adventure that is filled with familiar faces and new surprises.